back to microeconomics class. We are still on market structure. Class we'll be discussing structural equilibrium of a perfectly competitive firm, a situation whereby the firm is making loss and firm will shut down because of this loss. Okay, let's draw the diagram to represent that. Here we have outputs of the firm. As usual, we have the price and the cost. We have the origin. The demand curve of the firm is D, that's demand, AR equal to AR equal to MR. Okay. To determine the equilibrium, we draw the marginal cost curve. So this is marginal cost curve. This is where MC equals to MR. This MR curve, this line, and this MC curve. This represents the equilibrium, but this is where MC equals MR. Don't forget the equilibrium condition. So here we have the equivalent outputs of the firm, and this represents the equivalent price of the firm. Okay. Now the next thing is that because we assume the firm is making loss, so for the firm to make loss, we ensure that whenever we are going to draw our average cost curve, so price must be less than average cost curve. So this is the price. So we are going to draw our average cost curve to be above this line, this price line. So in other words, we can draw it this way. This is average cost curve. Okay. If I want to know the average cost at this level of output, so I have to trace it up. Where it touches average cost, I draw it to this side. Okay. So let me name it A. Okay. Let me name it A. Let me call this B. Okay. This represents my average cost. Okay. But this average cost, introduce average cost only tells me that the firm is making loss. How? Because I know that the price is less than average cost. Okay, definitely total revenue will be less than total cost. Okay. Now the firm is making loss, but the question of whether the firm should shut down or not, okay, cannot be answered until I know the position of my average variable cost. Okay, don't forget the firm will only shut down if the price is less than average variable cost. Okay, but if the price is less than AC, but the price is greater than ABC, okay, the firm is making but not shut down. Okay, but if the price is less than AC, okay, and also the price is less than ABC, okay, the firm will shut down. Okay, shut down. That is loss and shut down. So don't forget we say the firm should shut down in order to minimize loss. The firm should continue the operation. Here in this situation, we say the firm should shut down in order to minimize the loss, because that's the best option for the firm. But here, the best option for the firm is to continue the operation despite the fact that it's making loss. So we say the firm is minimizing loss, okay, by continuing the operation. But in this case, we say the firm minimizes loss by shutting down. Okay. Now let me introduce my average variable cost. So I'm going to draw it and make sure that it is above the price, so that the firm will shut down. It's above the price. Okay. When it's above the price, it means that the price is going to be less than average variable cost. So let me draw my average variable cost here. This is average variable cost. You can see this is, let me draw it, let me name it C. Okay. So my average variable cost is C here. You can see C is greater than PE. In other words, the price is less than average variable cost. So the situation we find ourselves here, the situation the firm finds itself here is that the price is less than AC. In other words, PE is less than A. Okay, and also the same thing is that the PE is also less than ABC, average variable cost. In other words, PE is also less than C. Okay, so the advice is that the firm should shut down. The firm is making loss and shut down and should shut down. You should not continue the operation. So the only way for the that find itself in this situation is to stop the operation that is by shutting down, and that will make you to minimize loss. Thank you. See you in the next video.